Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. I do appreciate it. Today's beer, we jerked one out and it's been cellaring for a while. This is the Sierra Nevada Brewing Bigfoot 2013 edition. Had this one for a while. Rico sent me this, so once again Rico, thank you my brother, I do appreciate it sir. This has been cellaring for 6 years. I don't know when exactly in 2013 they do these beers. It doesn't tell me on the label. The newer ones may say exactly when it's put on the back label. All we have is on the upper label stick on here is the 2013 edition. Not a huge beer, but a decent size. It is a 9.6% ABV. And I've done these beers before, guys. I don't think I've done this particular year. Maybe a long time ago, maybe back in 2013. But we're going to see how this one is cellared. I do have a 2014 in there that we're going to get to for too long. We're trying to get some of these bigger beers done that's been in the closet and in the cellaring fridge for a while. I'm usually very impressed with this style of beer, and it is a American barley wine. These types of beers usually cellar very well. Now it's not bourbon barrel aged or anything like that. It's just their regular run-of-the-mill barley wine. Bigfoot 2013 barley wine. So let's see what this one brings to the table. Let's jump over to Untapped real quick. Beer Advocate clumps them all together, guys. They don't differentiate between the years like Untapped does usually. And they have the 2013 listed here, 9.6, and they have it at 90 IBUs. Now, of course, they say it's a 2013, so it's no longer being produced. They still make Bigfoot, as far as I know, but this is the 2013 edition. And it has a fairly long commercial description, but I am going to read it. Bear with me real quick. Bigfoot is a beast of a beer, brimming with bold flavors of bittersweet malt and heaps of aggressive whole cone Pacific Northwest hops. First introduced in the winter of 1983, Bigfoot is a cult classic beer brewed in the barley wine style, meaning a strong, robust bruiser of a beer with a refined intensity of a wine. Bigfoot is prized by beer collectors for supreme cellarability, and I would agree with that. This beer cellars extremely well usually. Hopefully this one has too. Under the proper conditions, it can age like a fine wine, develop new flavors and character as it matures in the bottle. Each new release or expedition is vintage dated. Collect your own and see the flavors develop and progress. Alcohol content 9.6% by volume. They give you the gravity and the Plato. Bitterness units is 90. Yeast is ale yeast. Bittering hops is Chinook. Finishing hops is Cascade, Centennial, Chinook, and the malts is Two Road Pale and Caramel. So we've got all the information you need there. You got the vintage, and that's basically all you need. I would like to know the month anyway, so if it was done in January, July, or December of that year, but you know, it is what it is. For 9.6%, almost to the 10% category, not quite, 9.5 and plus. This beer will sell it for a long time, and they will mature and the flavors will combine usually, and it usually is a little tastier, not quite as hot when you cellar these styles of beer as opposed to drinking it fresh. But they are just they are very tasty fresh too. So that is all we need to talk about. We got the vintage, we got the ABV, and we got the IBUs. So it is time. It's time. Off with this cap. And it does have 2013 on the cap also. Here we go. We're going to go right down the center on this one. Hopefully it don't produce 10 fingers of head. I don't think it will, with being a barley wine. Very nice carbonation for a beer that's 6 years old, approximately. About a finger and a half of head. Very nice looking. It's more or less of a brown, a murky brown. A little bit of light coming through the thin part of the glass down here, but it is very cloudy. A good looking beer. It almost looks mahogany up here, but it's more brown down here. So I would say it is a brownish color, like most barley wines are. Good looking beer. To the nose we go. Big time sweetness, like barley wine that style has. Roasted malt, maybe a hint of molasses, caramel, toffee. Very typical notes on the nose for the style. Slight hint of a little bit of alcohol, not boozy or anything like that, but to me, guys, this beer cellars exceptionally well. I mean, it smells pretty close on the nose, fresh as it does 6, 7, 10, 15 years down the road. But hopefully the taste will say everything there. So let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. A little bit heavy on the bitterness to me, with 90 IBUs, but it's not off-putting or anything. But there is a strong bitterness on this style, even though it has a nice sweetness on the smell. Takes a lot of bittering hops to try to balance that out. I think it's just a tad heavy on the bitterness, but they don't use any kind of lactose or anything in the brewing process of this particular beer, so the bittering hops are there. It does have a decent hop profile. It's not an IPA or a double IPA. It's not hop forward to my opinion, but I am getting the bitterness from the hops, and they use Chinook for the bittering hops. And I would guess they probably use the same recipe year after year after year, and a lot of times you'll get pretty close to the same ABV and IBUs depending on the brewery and how good the brewer is, and sometimes it changes from batch to batch or year to year. This one seems to be pretty consistent at 9.6% because Beer Advocate has it listed as 9.6%. So I got a feeling they're pretty good at brewing the same beer over and over and having the same ABV and IBUs on the beer. So, and of course, Sierra Nevada's been doing beers for a long time, and it makes some very, very tasty beers. And this is no exception. I think it's cellared extremely well. So let's sip on it for a while, let it come up to room temperature, and see where it ends up. Alright guys, I'm back. I've been sipping on it for a while now. Nice little bit of lacing is left on the glass. I find this beer just a little over bitter, but it is what it is. It takes a lot of bittering hops to balance out a big barley wine, but I find it very similar tastes between different batches, so they're probably using the same recipe over and over and over and over and over again. There's a lot of barley wines out there that have a nice sweeter taste to it than this, but this is usually not an expensive beer to buy. Fairly available across the country. They have a big distribution, but it's not a world-class barley wine to me. It is a very tasty barley wine, but not world-class. It's definitely not a 10, and I probably don't even think it's in the 9 category right now. I may have thought different years ago, but with the different barley wines that I've tasted over the years, I find it a little over bitter. But that's just my opinion, though. You may think it's the best thing you've ever tasted. And if you think it's a 10 beer, I'm not going to argue with that. I think there are some tastier beers out there, but they're usually more expensive than this, and sometimes they come in a bigger bottle where they charge you more. For what it is a tasty barley wine, and it cellars very, very well. So, with that being said, let's do the final chug on this one. This is the 2013 edition. And like I said, it has cellared very, very well. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between drinking it fresh and cellaring it right now. But it does cellar well. Final chug. Tasty barley wine, and readily available across the country. Guys, I think it's an A beer. I'm going to give it an A-, 90 from me on this one. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 4.14, which is also in their A category and A- category. And Untapped has it at 3.84, which is in their B+. I think it's a little better than a B, having the vintage on it and the ABV on it. But, you know, it is what it is, and it depends on where your palate is, what you like to drink, and what you've had to drink in this style. Usually will depend on how well you like a beer. So, with that being said, if you've had the 2013 edition recently, let me know what you think, guys. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.